Hello there, very good morning to all of you. So this is lecture number 7.4b. We have just completed 7.4a. This is 7.4b. What we have learned in 7.4a? We have learned to estimate rise in grinding zone temperature for a generalized process. Generalized process means your general equation of Qt equal to Qw, Qch plus Qf plus Qs. None of the term on your right hand side, they are zero. And they are reflected here. RWS takes care of how much heat is taken care by Qs. HF takes care of how much heat is taken away by the fluid. RCH takes care of how much heat is taken away by the grit, by the chip stream, and HW takes care of how much heat is entering the workpiece. So with this, we would be able to estimate temperature under any circumstances. So what are I going to do in this particular lecture? In this particular lecture, we are going to see how to solve a numerical problem with for a generalized condition. So this is a plant surface grinding operation. You are grinding say bearing steel, and you are using a CBN wheel. How can you say you are using a CBN wheel? If you search for VS is 80 meter per second. Typically a vitrified conventional wheel will not work at 80 meter per second. So chances are it is a CBN wheel. It could be a single layer CBN wheel, it could be a resin bonded CBN wheel, or it can even be a vitrified CBN wheel. Let us assume it is a single layer CBN wheel. There is an assumption LC equal to LG. Earlier we have said LC is a function of LG, and quite often it is 2 times that, but we are not going in that direction. We are assuming LC equal to LG. Down pit is 45 micron. Diameter of the grinding wheel is 200 millimeter. VW is 200 millimeter per second. That means 12 meter per minute. The specific grinding energy is 40 joule per millimeter cube. I have taken it as 40 joule per millimeter cube because I want to show you a particular procedure. Typically, when you are doing CBN grinding at such a high speed, it would not be 40 joule per millimeter cube, but I have taken it intentionally. UG is typically 13.6. To round it off, I have taken it as 15. This is the density of the work material. This is the specific heat. This is the thermal conductivity. This is the melting temperature. This is the edge radius. This is the thermal conductivity of the CBN grid. So this could have been written as KCBN. This is the width of the grinding workpiece, and this is the width of the grinding wheel. And as you can see, this is a plant surface grinding operation. Fine. What you have to estimate is theta. One particular thing I have not given here, which is the value of HF. How much is the convective heat transfer coefficient? I will provide that value later on. So first thing we would like to see is, let us calculate LC. So LC equal to LG, which is root over ADS. So A is 0.045, 45 micron, and this is 200. So this square root sign would be going over there. So it is square root of 9, which is 3 millimeters. So one part is done. Next thing that we are going to calculate is QT. So this is my QT. QT is UG into material removal rate. This particular multiplication will give me grinding power. And that I will divide by LC into BW. This LC into BW is nothing but contact area. So this is 40 joule per millimeter cube. This is BW. This is A. This is VW. Whatever is there in the second bracket will come out into millimeter cube per second. This is joule per millimeter cube. So the numerator would be nothing but joule per second or watt. This is once again LC, and this is BW. So the whole thing comes out in watt per millimeter square, and this is a large number. This is a rather high number, 120. So this is the total heat flask. Why am I calculating this? Because please recall, and this I have to calculate only when I can calculate QT. So let's see how we can proceed in that direction. Next one is RCH. How much heat is being taken away by the grinding chip stream? We have done this analysis earlier as well. I am not going to repeat the analysis, so I will take the final solution, which is rho W into CW into theta MP divided by UG. If you convert everything in SI unit, please see that this has been converted into joule per meter cube. So it comes out to be 0.15. I have done a rounding off. It was 0.14 something. I have taken it as 0.15. So RCH is done. So how many things are done? We have calculated RCH. So this is done. We have also calculated QT. Now let us see what are the other things. Now RWS. RWS we are calculating using this expression. This expression, all the values were given to you. So for that particular reason, you would be able to calculate it as 0.42. Once again, there has been some amount of rounding off. It was 0.418 or something. So I have taken it as 0.42. So this is the value of RWS. To recall, what is RWS? RWS is QW divided by QW plus QS. That means what fraction of heat enters the workpiece from the summation of workpiece heat flask and grinding heat flask. So if your RWS is less, that is better. That means less heat is entering the workpiece, and if it is more, it is bad. RWS can be 1 if QS is 0. RWS can never be 0. It can be a less number. That means less amount of heat is entering. Here it is around 0.42. So situation is not against us, but it is also not very, very favorable, but it is acceptable. Next one is beta W. Beta W we have already used, and this is the value of beta W. In the previous slide itself we have used beta W, and that has come from this particular calculation. Next one is HW. What is HW? HW is pseudo heat transfer coefficient of the workpiece, and there is another thing missing, pseudo convective heat transfer coefficient. During the lecture on this particular part, I have already said heat transfer to the workpiece takes place because of conduction, but because temperature varies very rapidly within the workpiece, we can, for the sake of analysis, write it as a pseudo convection, and for that QW was written as HW into theta, or HW into theta is nothing but theta W minus theta ambient. The grinding temperature reaches the ambient temperature pretty fast. So if you recall, this is the temperature and this is the depth direction. Temperature falls to the ambient temperature pretty fast. This is at times sub-millimetric to millimetric. So it is 0.2 to 1 millimeter in that particular range for steel. So HW we have calculated for this particular expression, and this is almost 100,899. So it is almost 1 lakh. Earlier in the previous lecture we have calculated HW. It was 75,000. It is 100,000. As I said earlier, HW depends not only on work material property, it also depends on the process parameter combination, and here the process parameter combination is such that it has given a higher value. HF, this is the data. HF is data. In grinding, HF can be very, very high. In grinding, in some kind of grinding, HF has been reported to be as high as this. Why is it high? We will talk about that later on, but not now. But HF can be very, very high. HF is high because in grinding, sufficient amount of grinding fluid is applied at rather moderate pressure with high velocity. that increases HF. So this is an indication that I am giving, but for this particular problem, the value of HF is given to you as a part of the data. Now, this is our master equation. We plug in everything. 120 into 10 to the power 6, RCH is 0.12, this is 20,000, this is 1,0899, and RW is 0.42, and we get a value of 392. We are using straight oil or neat oil. In the previous lecture, we have indicated that typical flame boiling temperature is around 350 degrees centigrade, which is given here. That means your estimated rise in temperature is more than the flame boiling temperature. So this approach is no longer valid. Why is it not valid? Because you have taken a value of HF. But if your flame boiling temperature is less than the rise in grinding temperature, flame boiling will take place. There would be a vapor layer between the grinding fluid and the grinding zone. So heat transfer would be heavily affected. It would be deteriorate, and for that reason HF cannot be 20,000. So HF would become 0, and then you have to calculate theta, and this theta would become this one. So this is your 425. So instead of 392, this is 425 degrees centigrade. Why is it so? Because 392, the rise in grinding temperature using the generalized approach happens to be more than the flame boiling temperature. So you have to put HF equal to 0 and recalculate, and when you recalculate, you get 425. So this is the actual solution, not 392. So this is an assignment which has to be done. This assignment has to be done on the class hour during Monday. So Monday you are getting 2 hours time. So you can revisit these videos once again. These videos are for Saturday. So once again you can revisit these videos. Look at those videos, take your own note, and then try to do this assignment. What is this assignment? It is the same assignment. All I have done is that I have changed theta W to be equal to 100 millimeter per second. In this solved problem it was 200. UG was 40, now it has become 30 joule per millimeter cube. HF I have increased a bit, which is 25,000, and flame boiling temperature is 350 degrees centigrade. What you have to determine is theta, that is rise in grinding temperature, and this has to be submitted by 22 hours of 2nd of November, which I believe is Monday. So Monday by 22 hours or 10 p.m. in the night, it has to be submitted. To whom it has to be submitted? To the same email address where you have to submit the assignment number 1. This assignment has to be submitted. Assignment has to be completely handwritten. No graphs are to be drawn. So there is no question of drawing any graphs in computer. So this assignment has to be completely handwritten. Then you can take a scan or you can photograph using your mobile, then import it into your laptop or desktop computer, convert that particular image into PDF document and send it to that particular email address by 2/11/2020. I would like to say something. I received some kind of complaint, you can say, from some of the students that they are not getting enough time for other subjects because of this particular subject. So I am sacrificing 2 hours of class hours on Monday, 8 to 10, and during those 2 hours you can do this assignment, and that should not affect any of your work for your project work or whatever. So it should not affect. So I do not want to hear any further complaint. I would rather sacrifice my class hours and you have to complete the assignment during that time. So in these 2 hours you can go through the videos once again, make your notes, whatever you want to do, complete your assignment. Completing this assignment would not take more than 30 minutes. So the rest of the 1 hour 30 minutes you can revisit the videos n number of times, as many times as you want, and complete the assignment. Thank you so much for your time. So I'll look forward to your assignments.